I want you to do something this Sunday, and I'm serious. Right in the middle of your second song, stop playing. Put your hands in your lap and just stand there or sit there. And count how many seconds it takes for even one person in that building to even notice. Now, don't actually do that. You don't need to, because if you're a church musician in today's era, your stomach already answered that question for you. Nobody would notice. Not that song, and maybe not that month. We didn't lose the church musicians. We turned them down until they disappeared, and nobody even noticed because it happened one fader at a time. 4 moves made a musician vanish in plain sight. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what all 4 of them are. And I'm going to tell you what it's already costing us. And I'm going to tell you how to turn yourself back up before you fade out for good. Now, I've been a church musician for over 30 years. I've been on teams, I've led choirs, I've been on executive boards that approve the budget for the upgrades that I'm about to describe to you. And I've played on both kinds of stages. The ones where the Hammond B3 organ is the thing that fills the room, and the one where the entire live sound lives inside of 7 pair of in-ear monitors inside someone's ears. So let me be clear before we start. This is not me arguing for traditionalism and arguing against technology. I use in-ears all the time, and I actually prefer them in most cases. And to be honest, in-ears solved a lot of problems. Stage volume, feedback, and even helping the live stream mix to be clean. So I'm not here to tell anybody to unplug anything, but here's what happened. We've optimized for the mix and the live stream so hard that we have deleted the musician out of the room, and nobody ever counted the cost of that. So today I'm counting it. And let me show you just how invisible this whole thing is. If the sound goes out in the pastor's microphone while he's in the middle of a sermon, how long do you think it would take for someone to sprint to the soundboard to fix it? 3, 5 seconds? The whole service will stop for his dead microphone. But a musician can be in that same room and be inaudible for 3 years, and nobody even files a complaint about it. Same stage, same Sunday, one voice we can't imagine losing, and another one we didn't even notice was gone. So how do you make a musician disappear in plain sight? Well, it's 4 moves, and this is the part that should scare you a little bit. Nobody planned a single one of them. All of them had a good reason. Move number 1 is the musicians got pulled out of the mix. See, the mix in modern worship services are optimized for vocals in like a big wall of sound. So the real guitarist, the real keys player, the organ, all of that gets pushed down in the mix. And sometimes it's pulled out of the house mix entirely. Somebody at that soundboard decides what the congregation hears every Sunday. And more, what they decide is not including you. And listen, there's no villain at the soundboard. I'm not saying that at all. And honestly, a controlled mix genuinely sounds cleaner. And nobody ever stood up in a meeting and said, hey, let's pull the guitarist out of the mix. What they did say was, hey, let's make the mix cleaner. And see, that's a good reason, but it's also the problem. There's a comment from my last video that named this thing better than I ever could. This commenter, a guitarist, says, there's no room in the mix for a guitarist anymore. Only singers and sequences. And he's got a name for these players. He calls them silent guitarists. I like that. Musicians who are on stage actually playing, but are never to be heard. Silent guitarists. Let that one sit in for a minute. Because here's the truth about move number 1. You can be the best player in that building. and still be the instrument that nobody in that room will ever hear. Move number 2 is we've sealed the stage. In-ear monitors have put every single musician on that platform inside their own private bubble. And the sound that used to live in the air, the spill of that sound off the stage and washing over the front row, the organ rattling the pew that your grandmother used to sit in, all of that sound has now moved. It lives inside of earbuds now. So the stage itself went quiet, dead quiet. The most sound-filled room in the neighborhood went silent, and we call it an upgrade. Let me ask you something. When was the last time a kid in your church felt the organ in their chest? Not heard it, felt it. Now watch this, because this connects directly to my last video. In that video, I told you that the bench disappeared, so there was no one left to sit under. Well, this is worse, because in this scenario, the musician is still standing there on stage playing his heart out, but can't be heard. So there's nothing for a little kid to catch on to that may be interested in being a musician. As a musician, you can't have an apprentice in a room that has no sound. Move number 3 is the parts got replaced. So sub bass, pads, background layers, and sometimes even whole entire sections of songs pre-recorded and flown in on a track. So even the parts the room does hear may not even be the actual person at all. And catch this, it's designed so you can't tell. That's not a flaw, that's a feature. But think about what that actually means. If the room can't tell the difference between a real musician and a WAV or MP3 file, then the room stops needing the musicians. Somebody said something to me on my last video that a whole lot of you have been quoting back to me. Optimization compensating for the lack of skill set. I told you to write that one down. I hope you did. And there was another commenter on my last video that left a comment, also a guitar player, who said he spent a week learning the major ninth chords a song was actually written on, showed up to rehearsal, played them right, and the worship leader laughed at him and told him, you know, I'm not going to play those. That's not simplifying, y'all. That's flavor leaving the building. Now, move number 4. A short one, a cold one. They killed the lights. Walk into a lot of churches today and look at the platform. The singers are lit up like a Christmas tree, but the band in the dark, sometimes behind the screens. So let's add this thing up. You can't hear them in the house. That's move number 1. You can't hear them on stage. That's move number 2. You can't tell which parts are actually the real musicians. That's move 3. And now with the lights down, you can't even see him either. 4 moves, whole musician gone, and he's standing right there. So here is what all of this silence is costing us. It's 3 things, and each one is heavier than the last. Number 1 is it runs off the musicians we already have. See, the silence doesn't just hide you, it runs you off. There's a comment that was left on my last video as well that I want to read to you exactly what he wrote. He says, I stopped playing for my current church because I realized I had turned into a silent pianist. Let me read that again. I stopped playing because I turned into a silent pianist. He didn't quit music. He quit being invisible. And nobody quits over like one bad mix. They quit on the Sunday they realized it wouldn't matter if they even came back or not. Number 2, and this one really gets to me. It unmakes the musicians we were supposed to get. There's another commenter, 70 years old. He's been playing since 1977, as he says, and he was mentored by his parish organist. That's the proximity story that I told in my last video. The chain thing working exactly how it's supposed to work. 50 years of Sundays. And this is what he says about his church today. He says, no one sits near the instruments. I'm the only one making a joyful noise. And then he writes one sentence that I've just not been able to stop thinking about. He says, had my career began like this, I wouldn't still be playing. Just sit with that for a minute. Almost 50 years of faithfulness, Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, showing up at church. And he's sitting here telling us very plainly that in today's church, he would have been filtered out before he ever got started. I'm telling you, the silence isn't just losing musicians that we already have. It's unmaking the musicians we were supposed to get. Number 3, it starves the musicians who are coming next. So that kid I talked about in my last video, the one that is supposed to be sitting close and watching the hands and catching the thing that we do, there's nothing left to catch. You can't fall in love with a sound you never heard. Because listen, being heard was never about the volume. It was about being present. It was about mattering in the room. A musician that nobody hears is being taught Sunday after Sunday that he doesn't need to be there. And eventually, he believes it. So what do we do about all of this? 3 turns of the dial, 1 for each wound. And they're really simple. Not easy, but simple. Dial turn number 1, ask for the room back. Go have the conversation with your music director or your sound tech this week. I'm not asking to be loud. I'm just asking for the room to be able to hear what I'm actually playing. That's respectful, clear, and professional. And if the answer comes back as something like, well, we mix for the stream, not for the room. Hear me when I say this. That's not a no. That's information. Now you know what that stage has actually become, and you get to decide what to do with that information. Dial turn a little bit more to number 2. Break the seal. When the click track allows it, pull one ear out. Just one. You cannot lead a room that you can't feel. And then just push for one fully live moment in your set. One song, even one verse. Real instruments in the air in that room. Give the congregation one moment a week where what they're hearing is the actual human being musician in that room right then. Watch what it does to the room and watch what it does to you. Dial turn number 3. Make the craft visible on purpose. This is the assignment from my last video that I gave, but it's updated for the silent stage that we're talking about. Pull that kid over to the soundboard and show him what's live and show him what's the track. Name the parts out loud, because if the room itself can't show him anymore, then you have to. And musicians, hear me on this. You are not a playback device. So stop letting yourself be treated like one. So here's the real question, and it's yours to answer. Are you a musician, or are you the best kept secret in the room? Because playing is not the same as being heard. And a gift that nobody can hear isn't being honored, it's being buried. And about that test/dare that I gave you at the beginning of this video, you are never going to do that. You don't need to, because the question was never whether they would notice if you stopped playing. The question was whether you noticed you start disappearing. I'll see you in the next video.